Hey, what's up guys? The time now is 5 o'clock. So I've been wanting to revive my YouTube channel for a while now, but COVID came, so I have to postpone the plan. But right now I was thinking, what's not better than, start vlogging myself and recount what happened recently to me, which some of you guys have already known. I tore my ACL completely. So for this video itself, I'm going to talk about how did it happen, what is a torn ACL like, what happened after that to me, my experience in the hospital, the operation, and some of the complications that came after that. I was actually thinking of doing like a vlog style of my recovery process, whereby I show you guys how I recover, going to physio, doing my whatever exercises and stuff like that. So I think that will be actually quite interesting for those people who actually suffer the same thing as me, a torn ACL, which is quite common, I would say, if you do sports. So without further ado, let's recount what happened on that day itself when I tore my ACL. So it was a very normal Sunday whereby I usually will go and play a pickup basketball game with my friends just to keep fit for fun. It's a leisure thing. I used to play a lot of basketball. So that day itself, I think I was getting a little bit too ahead of myself. I got too excited because during the COVID period of time, I actually lost quite a bit of weight, as you can see. And I can actually jump a lot higher now. So at the end of the game, I actually asked my friend to help me to throw the ball near to the rim, and I just grab it and dunk it in. So I actually tried for a few attempts, which I'm gonna show the video. Then at the last attempt, I gave it all my best. I really jumped all the way, with all my might, and then actually almost dunked it in, but I still missed it. But I grabbed to the rim quite hard, and I think that actually threw me off balance in the air. And with my legs sticking out like this, I landed on the floor, okay, awkwardly. I didn't know, and my knee just went crack twice, okay. And I knew at that moment I was fucked, man. So I was laying on the ground, not being able to move for a good like 15-20 minutes. It was really very painful. Even my friend can hear the crack sound. So at that moment, I thought that like, okay, I'm screwed, man. And basically, I got my right knee ligament torn before, also due to basketball. Sadly, so I knew something big was going on, man. It's either I tore my ligament or there was a fracture or something like that. But yeah, that was all I could assume during then. After that, I was laying there for a while. My friend got me out after a bit. We wanted to call for ambulance, but didn't in the end. So I was just limping around back to the bench and everything. So after that, my friend drove me back to my home, and that was that for the day, man. So basically, I have to endure my pain for a day, and then the next day my dad actually suggested me going to the polyclinic to do an x-ray, which I did. He went there with me. So after that x-ray came out, there was nothing wrong with my bones, luckily. Then my friend actually recommended me to go to a private hospital at Gleneagles, which I think would be a more appropriate choice. So I'm going to talk a little bit about government and private doctors here. So I was admitted into the hospital the very next day on Tuesday, and then MRI scan done on the day itself. I got the news, the results the next day on Wednesday, and then Thursday I go for the operation. It was actually a very tough decision to make because I had an ACL torn before on my right knee, and I knew how the recovery process and everything is like. So I didn't want to go through that again. But after consulting a few of my friends here and there, I decided to go for the op because no matter what, I still need, an ACL partial tear can recover by itself, but you do not know how much can it recover, and you will still be weak. So you need a recovery period as well. So after you op, you also have to recover for a period of time. So I was thinking, why not just go for the op and then bite through the bullet and get a new ACL, and then it's more stable and everything more safe, because you have to go through the recovery phase anyway. Because if you do not know how much recovery you have, if your ACL is torn partially and you recover it by yourself, it might cause some risk and danger in the future as well. So I thought like, okay, just go for the op anyway. So I did the op on Thursday, and then that was it, man. So I just want to talk a little bit about, like I said earlier on, about the government and private hospitals. I got the news of my MRI scan appointment from the government hospital at October 26th. That is end of October, and I got my injury around end of July. So I have to wait 3 months just to go for the MRI scan. I think by the time my leg already gone already. Other than that, it will just recover by itself. So yeah, that's the difference between private and government hospital. So the hospital I was staying in was Gleneagles, and it was actually really cool. I mean, I don't mean to make it sound cool, but the room I'm staying is a single room, so I have my own bed, my own TV, my own toilet and everything like that. And like I said, Thursday itself, I got injured on Sunday, so Thursday itself I was going for the surgery already. So this whole surgery procedure was actually quite scary, because I mean, I've done it before. So they're gonna like roll you on the bed, transfer you to a bed, and gonna roll you all the way to the waiting area for the theaters room. It's just like the movie like that. You see all the lights flashing past you while you're lying down on the bed, and then just waiting there and waiting for like maybe, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, and they will again roll you to the theater room. And then it was super cold there, I think because it has to be germ free or something like that. Then what's gonna happen, they're gonna like do all the procedures, and they're gonna inject something, okay, into your hand. I think that's the anesthesia actually, so it's under GA. So they'll inject something in, and then they will give you the oxygen mask for you to breathe, just to like, I think, distract you or something like that. So the last time that I went for it, they asked me to count to 10. So with the mask here, and then you count to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Before you know it, you're gone. You're just gone like that, blackout. And the next moment, you are just at the bed again with everything done. Okay, so while waking up after the anesthesia, you feel like shit, you feel very nausea, you feel like you don't know where the fuck you are, and it takes a while to get used to it and then get back to normal. Alright, so another thing is that Gleneagles is actually pretty good with their food. I'm not trying to promote them or whatever, but their food is actually very awesome. So we're gonna show a few pictures over here. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything is really very nice. So I was looking forward to like recover faster and everything this time round, but because the surgery is the keyhole surgery, which is like less invasive than the previous time that I did 10 over years ago, whereby they have to take your I think hamstring ligament and then cut your knee and then put it in and something like that. So but then again, having said all this, life isn't that smooth sailing all the time. I got news that because of my swelling and the redness of my knee area doesn't go down. It's like I've been, I think, 5 days already, and it still hasn't go down. Something is wrong with it. So the doctor and me actually discussed about it. We thought that it might be an infection. So if there is an infection, things are gonna get a lot more complicated. If the infection is bad, so what we're gonna do is gonna take the graft, the new ligament graft, out of my knee, wash the knee inside, okay, go out of the hospital, stay with antibiotics for 4 to 6 more weeks. So these 4 to 6 more weeks I'll be without ACL, okay, just, you know, limping around with my PCL and MCL. That's gonna be fucked up, man. So after that 4 to 6 more weeks, I'm gonna go back to the hospital again, put in the ligament graft again, go through the same procedure, and then start to recover after that. So at that moment, I was actually thinking that, wow, this is really bullshit, man. And I was looking forward so much to recover faster and everything, and this has to come. So I was really quite depressed doing that, but honestly, there's nothing much I can do, just to accept it. So what we have to do was to go for a couple of tests, and one of the tests will just come, the results will come the next day, and it was negative. So I was actually pretty glad about that. That waiting time, guys, I tell you, is fucked up, man. So there's another few more tests going on, whereby the doctor is gonna see if my blood can cultivate any bacteria or not. So that'll take over 5 days, and day by day the doctor will come and tell me, okay, today there's no bacteria, tomorrow there's no bacteria, blah blah blah. And eventually, after 3 days of being free from bacteria, I was discharged from the hospital, because the doctor said that, okay, there's a very high percentage that is not infection. So I got discharged on the 3rd day of the test. I stayed in the hospital for like, I don't know, 8 or 9 days, man. So it was really quite boring, and it was tough, man. So it's like another quarantine. So I go back home after that, and then the doctor actually followed up with me. Even on the 5th day, there is no infection, so I'm all good. Alright, so right now, as you can see, I'm back home, nursing myself back to health, recovering day by day. I'm feeling better, a little bit better every day. I can actually walk around without the crutches now, but I mean, the physio recommended not to do that. So I want to conclude this whole thing by telling you guys, if you are already at a certain age like me, 30 years old and above, try not to do anything stupid when you're doing sports, man. Always safety first. If you break anything or tear your ligament, it's gonna be really fucked up. You can't work anymore. I just go back to work and I have to stop again, which is quite stupid. Also, if you have any questions about ligament tear the surgeries, insurance, what hospital does for you and stuff like that, you can actually leave a comment down below or either that PM me so I can answer to your questions. I'm pretty sure some of you guys out there have this problem as well. You do not know what to do because you're scared and stuff like that. So I went through this whole thing myself. I can actually try and advise you a little bit here and there. Okay, so the next video I'm gonna try and do some you know, everyday life, maybe show myself into the physio, my recovery and stuff like that, and probably going back to the gym for a bit to work on my upper body. So be sure to subscribe, like this video, and then see you guys next time, man. 3 o'clock out.